how we doing? Hello, welcome to Grunge Punk Brainworms. Today I wanted to do a video about Kurt Cobain of the band Nirvana. Oh, how we like Nirvana. Distorted guitars, smashing of the drum kits, screaming, howling, crazy man. Oh, the good old days. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the death of Kurt Cobain specifically, because I always found something really weird about it. First off, I could just give you a little bit of background on me. So, in my 20s and that, I was in bands and devoted my life to being a musician and did the whole band thing, just like touring around, putting records out and stuff like that. And unfortunately I ended up getting into drugs and I ended up becoming a heroin addict, and 17 years of my life went by and it was crazy. I don't really want to get into that, but I just wanted to give that bit of information just to tell you that I know pretty much all there is to know about doing heroin and what that involves and how it affects you. I've done plenty of research. So the thing is, right, with Kurt Cobain, who died, when did he die? It was April 7th, 1994. Apparent shotgun blast to the head. Fine, if that's all you hear. But then you also hear, like, the toxicology report that he had 3 times the lethal limit of heroin in his system. 3 times the lethal limit. That's 3 times the lethal limit for someone who had the most severe habit. If someone who had never used before took the same amount, it would be 70 times the lethal limit for someone who's never touched it. Obviously you get a tolerance, don't you? But if you had a really bad, right on the worst side of the spectrum, 3 times lethal limit was in his system. He then put away all of his paraphernalia, his needles, his swabs, his little pot or spoon, put it all clean in the box. Yeah, there's photos of this. Put it all clean away in the box, went and got a gun, put the gun in his mouth, and apparently shot himself in the head. There's a big problem with that. 3 times the lethal dose. Within seconds he'd be unconscious. Like, I'd say within top whack, 5 seconds, he'd be out cold. If you had just one times the lethal limit in his blood, he'd be out cold in seconds. There's just no way that you would. There's just no way you could put all that stuff away and do anything. I mean, you could barely turn around and scratch your own backside. It's impossible. I know there's times back when I was using, I took loads, not enough to kill me, but it was a big dose, and it knocked me out for hours. I was gone, and it hit me in seconds, just gone. I didn't even know what happened. Completely freaked me out. So to take 3 times the lethal dose, I'm sorry, it's an impossibility. It didn't happen. Well, he didn't do it to himself, let's put it that way. So I was thinking about making this video earlier today. It's funny enough, I just did a quick search on the internet and I found an article talking about it. So I'm going to switch it over and I'm going to read it out to you. Was Kurt Cobain murdered? Excuse me. Writer claimed. Let's do it in an action movie voice. Was Kurt Cobain murdered? Writer claims he has proof it was not a suicide. Well, you can't say that word on the S word. You can't say the end yourself word on YouTube, can you? So fuck it. fucking love to censor crap and demote videos if they've got certain words in it. It's such a bloody minefield. Crazy. Anyway, this is on Marker, which I've never used before. But I'll read it to you anyway. It's not a long article, it's only short. It may have been almost 3 decades since Kurt Cobain's passing away, but there are many people who still do not believe that suicide was the cause of his death. I wonder why. See, anyone who knows anything about heroin and drugs and gets told the actual facts of the case will know that there's something fishy going on. Anyway, one of the people that don't believe it was suicide is author Ian Halperin, who has claimed that he has evidence showing that Cobain had 70 times the lethal dose of the drug heroin in his system when he was found dead at his home. 70 times. Now that's 70 times is for someone who's never used before. So if you went out and took 70 lots of lethal amounts of heroin, that's what was in his system. He made it clear that it makes no sense scientifically and that the music star... Oh, sorry. He made it clear that it makes no sense scientifically that the music star killed himself. He was quoted as saying, "Cobain was murdered based on the evidence I have," Halperin exclusively told the US Sun. He had 70 times the lethal dose of heroin in his system. Forensic pathology experts say it's impossible for anybody to withstand that much heroin for more than a second, let alone turn around, lift a shotgun, turn the shotgun and try to blow their own head off. There is no precedent in humankind of anybody taking 70 times the lethal dose of heroin for a normal person. I don't know why you had to put for a normal person in. Oh, because of the 70 times. For someone who was using heavily, it'd be 3 times the lethal limit. The smoking gun is the heroin intake. Nobody would be able to withstand that amount. To be clear, the heroin was 70 times more than a normal person who had not used before could withstand, and 3 times the amount the most severe junkie with a long-term problem and tolerance could withstand before dying. There's no precedent for this. Kurt had been off drugs, he came back from rehab and wanted a new start in life. Someone shot him up, most probably 2 people. Also, I write, there are no fingerprints on the gun that they found. Dead men do not wipe their own prints off of the gun. Cops who have been off the record sources for 25 years think the investigation was steered away from murder. Well, they declared it was suicide on the same day, literally, like pretty much immediately. The cops, they turn up, see that he's dead, and without doing a full investigation decide, oh, it's suicide. The whole bloody thing was a joke. But anyway, the thing about the gun's interesting as well, isn't it? No fingerprints on the gun. How's that possible? How's that possible? It's not possible. But I'm not concerned about that, because for me, it's literally just the drug thing alone is enough. That sews it up. That there is zero doubt in my mind. There is just absolutely no way anyone, no matter how long they've been using, no matter how much drugs they use, could take that much and do anything. Impossible. I don't care. There is nothing that could convince me otherwise, because I know it's not possible. I know it for a fact, because I've done it. I've taken loads. I know how it hits you, and I survived it. And I took loads which knocked me out for hours, and it hit me in seconds. I was gone in seconds. So if I had taken 3 times the lethal amount, I would have been out even quicker. It's just impossible. So I hope you found that interesting. What do you think? Have you got any experience? I'd be interested if anyone else has got experience with heroin or whatnot, and you know, if they have the same opinion as me. I'd be very surprised if anyone would disagree, to be honest with you. But anyway, if you've got any points of view or any suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment Also, please subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. I plan on doing all different types of videos related to music in the future, from playing musical instruments, talking about stuff like this, and culture stuff, news, stuff about how mental the world is. So yeah, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.